The alarm shrieked through the corridors of Station Vara 9, a pulsing red wail that made every species aboard freeze in their tracks. Mariel's coffee mug slipped from her fingers, shattering against the metallic floor of the commissary. Around her, the station's crew, Vrexian engineers with their chitinous exoskeletons, Talasian diplomats with their luminescent skin, and a handful of other species, immediately began their practiced evacuation protocols. Security drill in progress, the station's AI announced in its flat, emotionless tone. All personnel proceed to designated safe zones. Predator containment breach simulation active. Marielle's heart hammered against her ribs. She'd been on Vera 9 for only 3 months, a cultural liaison assigned to facilitate human integration into the greater galactic consortium. This was her first Predator drill, and while she'd read the protocols, nothing quite prepared her for the reality of it. The Vrexians scuttled toward the reinforced doors with impressive speed, their multiple legs clattering against the floor. The Talasians activated their personal shield generators, expensive tech that humans couldn't yet afford. Everyone moved with the efficiency of prey animals who had evolved under the shadow of apex predators. Everyone except Marielle. She stood in the center of the commissary, alone, as the doors sealed shut. Her badge had malfunctioned. The magnetic lock that should have granted her access to the safe zone blinked red instead of green. Through the transparent aluminum barrier, she could see the Vrexian security chief, Thractel gesturing frantically at her, mandibles clicking in what she'd learned to recognize as distress. Then she heard it, the soft padding of feet, no, paws, against metal. Multiple sets, coming closer. Marielle turned slowly, her human instincts screaming at her to run, to hide, to do anything but stand still. But there was nowhere to go. The commissary was a dead end and the doors were sealed. They emerged from the shadows of the corridor, Cravathi cubs, 6 of them, each the size of an earth tiger. Their fur rippled with bioluminescent patterns, deep purples and blues that marked them as juveniles. In another year, they would be pitch black, perfect ambush predators capable of tearing through starship hulls with their crystalline claws. The Cravathi were the consortium's most feared species. They were the enforcers, the warriors, the ones other species called when violence was unavoidable. Their cubs were trained from birth in hunting simulations, and this drill, releasing them to test station security protocols, was standard practice. The cubs were supposed to be programmed to ignore all personnel. They were supposed to simply navigate the station, testing for weaknesses in the containment systems. Marielle had read the statistics. There had been 3 incidents in the past decade where the cubs hadn't ignored personnel. All 3 victims had been injured severely enough to require regeneration therapy. The lead cub, slightly larger than the others, with a distinctive silver streak through its bioluminescent markings, stopped 10 feet away from her. Its eyes, 6 of them arranged in a hexagonal pattern, locked onto Marielle with an intelligence that sent ice through her veins. Behind the sealed doors, she could hear shouting. Thractel was screaming into his communicator, demanding the drill be terminated immediately. The cub took another step forward, then another. Marielle's breathing was shallow now. She'd been trained in first contact protocols, in diplomatic negotiations and cultural sensitivity. Nothing had prepared her for this. She thought of her family back on Earth, of her mother who had begged her not to take this assignment, of her brother who thought she was insane for leaving humanity's solar system. The cub was 5 feet away now. Then something unexpected happened. The cub's posture changed. Its haunches lowered not in preparation to pounce, but in something that almost looked like submission. Its bioluminescent patterns shifted from the hunting blues and purples to softer greens and golds. It chirped. The sound was so incongruous, so completely unlike the terrifying predator she'd expected that Marielle almost laughed. It sounded like a bird, high-pitched and curious. Then the cub did something that would be analyzed by xenobiologists for years to come. It pressed its massive head against Marielle's leg and began to purr. The other 5 cubs approached immediately, their patterns shifting to match the first. They circled around Marielle, not with the calculated precision of predators surrounding prey, but with the clumsy enthusiasm of puppies greeting their owner. This was Krevi, she would learn later, the lead cub, the one who decided that this strange, soft, furless creature smelled like safety instead of food. Marielle, operating on instinct older than civilization, reached down and scratched behind Krevi's auditory ridge. The purring intensified. The cub's eyes closed in bliss. "Oh," Marielle whispered. "You're just babies, aren't you?" The doors burst open. A full security team rushed in, weapons drawn, along with 3 adult Kravathi handlers who looked absolutely bewildered. Behind them, Thraktel's mandibles hung open in shock. "Don't move, human Marielle," one of the handlers growled, his voice a deep rumble that vibrated through the floor. "The cubs are unpredictable. We don't understand why they haven't—" "They're fine," Marielle said softly, her hand now stroking Krevi's head while another cub, this one with orange bioluminescence, nuzzled against her other side. "They're just curious." The head handler, a scarred veteran named Krathnor, approached slowly. His eyes widened as he observed the scene. The cubs were completely relaxed, their body language showing none of the aggression or hunting instinct they'd been trained to display. "This is impossible," Krathnor breathed. "They're programmed to view all non-Kravathi as either threats or prey during drills. They've never—" He trailed off, staring at Marielle as if she'd just performed magic. Over the following hours, as xenobiologists and behavioral specialists descended upon Station Vara 9, a theory emerged. Humans, it turned out, carried a unique combination of chemical signatures in their scent, a blend of pheromones and biological markers that existed in no other known species. To the Kravathi cubs, who were still developing their predatory instincts, humans smelled like pack, like family, like something to be protected rather than hunted. The discovery sent shockwaves through the consortium. Within weeks, human-Kravathi bonding programs were established. Within months, human handlers were being recruited for cub-rearing facilities across Kravathi space. And Marielle, still stationed on Vara 9, found herself with 6 permanent shadows. The cubs, Krevi especially, refused to leave her side. Station regulations were amended. Security protocols were rewritten. The galaxy had learned something that day, something that would reshape interstellar relations for generations to come. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology, their diplomacy, or their adaptability. It was their inexplicable ability to make friends with anything that had teeth. Even the galaxy's most terrifying predators couldn't resist the urge to be petted by a human.